tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us ready to buy to the number on the screen. Starting pricing for low-end software $100 and starting pricing for high-end software $500. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal buyer's protection guarantee.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tariq Nasheed, and I'm inviting you to the Foundational Black American Expo going down May 27, 2023, right here in the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. This is an event you don't want to miss. It's going down at the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, and this is an empowerment event that you can invite the whole family to. We're going to have seminars and workshops that discuss things like business development, education, health and wellness, self-defense, and some of you businesses out there, we have vending opportunities where you can promote your businesses. Plus, we're gonna have so many phenomenal speakers and guests. We got people like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who's coming down, Professor James Small, Sister Vicky Dillard, Riza Islam, Dr. Kaba Kamene, Ben X, Tahuti Mayad Ra, Erica Lachey, Red Pill, Blue Pill, so many people. So yo, get your tickets now at FBAExpo.com. That's FBAExpo.com. We will see you here. Yeah, come on, come on. What's good? What's happening, guys? It's Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have everybody tuning in to Tariq Radio. We're ready to chop up good game as we always do. Welcoming everybody in the room. Everybody come on in the room. Everybody come on in the room if you can. That would be phenomenal. What's happening, guys? If you can come on in the room and retweet the broadcast, let everybody know that we're live right now. We're going to be chopping up some good game, ladies and gentlemen. And while we're waiting on everybody to come in the room, let's take that real quick commercial break. How about we do that? So y'all don't move a muscle, because we will be right back right here on Tariq Radio. Don't move a muscle.
Listen up, squares. You need to get the legendary book on game, The Art of Mackin', by author Tariq Kingflex818, available on Amazon right now. Can you dig it? This book has been a bestseller for 20 years, Jack, and the New York Times called it a classic. That means it's out of sight. So this book ain't for no lames who ain't trying to learn the game, jive turkeys. So if you're ready to stop slacking in your mackin', get the Art of Mackin' book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble right now, sucker. Rated PG. That stands for plenty of game, jive chumps.
Have you been feeding your skin quality ingredients? Are you dealing with any type of skin condition such as eczema, hyperpigmentation, body acne, or discoloration? Here at Joy House Essentials, our triple whip shea butter is 100% handmade and whipped to perfection, guaranteeing results you will see and feel instantly. Give your skin the nourishment it deserves and stop using harmful, chemical-based products today. You can find us at www.thejoyhouseshop.net or give us a follow on Instagram at JHEShop. Joy House Essentials. Let's elevate together.
What's up, family? You guys need to check out this cookie company out of Houston, Texas called The Cookie Confidant. Man, they sell these beautiful, delicious, huge cookies right out of Houston, Texas, man. And the brother has been in business since 2017. And I've tried these cookies, man. They are bomb. Very delicious. My personal favorite are the chocolate chip pecan cookies, man. They are bomb. Y'all need to go to cookieconfidant.com to get these cookies. Black-owned company, man. They got chocolate chip peanut butter cookies, white chocolate cookies with sprinkles, man. So anything you like in a cookie, they got it. So again, go to cookieconfidant.com. That's cookieconfidant.com. Family, are you tired of not getting the credit you deserve at work? Are you fed up with office politics? Are you being sabotaged by coworkers? Do you wish there was a way to solve problems in the workplace? Well, if so, look no further than the new book, A Black Man's Guide to Working in Corporate America by our brother Ken Woods. It's a comprehensive guide on how to navigate through the workplace, and it provides suggestions, strategies, and other ways to solve problems that you might encounter. A Black Man's Guide to Working in Corporate America, available right now on Amazon. Get your copy right now.
Bro, stop playing and start spraying. Leave an op on the ground where you stand. At all costs, yeah, make sure you protect it. Ogun juice, the formula been tested. You can defend yourself. If you find that you need a little help, gotta stay ready. Ain't no love in the street. Pepper spray straight to the face, make them get weak. Get it at ogunjuice.com. If they thinking you slipping, then tell them to come get them some. If you packing this, you won't be lacking. A shot to the eye in them problems you having. Maximal strip, hit them haters on ground, so you can feel free when you out in the town. Ogun juice, and don't forget a shirt, man. You gotta stay ready, that evil on alert. Yeah.
Okay. You are now tuned into the legendary OG. Tariq Nasheed.
I want to apologize to all my friends.
On Tariq Radio.
Where is Tariq getting all this cash?
Oh, we're back. We're back. Glad to have y'all tuning in, family. Glad to have everybody tuning in the place to be. How y'all doing, man? We're going to chop up some good game on today's broadcast. I need everybody. Where are my LA people? Where are my LA people? Before I get into the game right now, because we're going to go heavy today. My LA people, if you're in LA next week, next Wednesday, we're having Tariq's Comedy Vibe, having a comedy event at the Hidden History Museum next Wednesday. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com and come on through. It's going to be popping, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be popping. And let everybody know that we're live right now. Let me hop on camera for the family. There we are. There I am. Here I go. I'm on camera for you. What's going on? All right. Let's get busy with it. Okay. All right. Listen. A lot of stuff we got to get into. Yeah, my LA people. What's up, LA folks? Y'all come on down next week. Y'all come on down. And let me say this, because we got a lot of LA people in here. Where are my people who donated to the museum? Who actually donated to the museum? All my LA people, raise your hand if you're an LA person and you donated to the museum, if you gave a contribution to the museum. Listen, for those in LA, you gave a contribution to the museum. For next week, I'm going to put you on my personal guest list so that you can get in free. If you donated, you're going to be on my guest list for next week. All right? If you donated to the museum, you can get in on my guest list for next Wednesday. Where are my LA people? Raise your hand, holler at me, send me an email, and show me proof that you contributed. Because I've been saying I'm going to do something for the donors. So I want to get y'all on my guest list for next week. All right? Email me. You can email me at info@tariqelite.com, or you can email me at info@hiddenhistorymuseum.com. info@hiddenhistorymuseum.com. You better have your damn proof. And it better not be no janky proof. Oh, y'all like this? The FBA Expo Dallas. Oh, yeah. Y'all can go to FBAexpo.com and get your shirt. We got these shirts available now. FBA Expo Dallas. That's happening next month, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, family. We got to talk about why it's important that you all show up to the FBA Expo in Dallas. All right? We got to understand why it's important, because the new energy out here, we're the new energy out here. And we're pushing that line. And it's very important that we get together physically and be around other people so that we can solidify codification, so that we can be on code and we can be around other on code people and we can network with on code people. Family is very, very important for us to have our own grassroots events and network with one another. That's one of the main purposes of the FBA Expo. That's one of the main purposes of it. You understand? And for those who don't know, the FBA Expo, we have all of these phenomenal speakers plus many, many more going down next month in Dallas. Now, this is important, family, because the dominant society, they fund conferences and meetings for black folks who want to undermine the rest of black society. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, we, the grassroots, we have a real strong reparations movement happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. We have a heavy reparations movement. Sorry about that. I'm just testing my volume. We have a heavy reparations movement, and it is grassroots. We're getting the reparations conversation on the table, and it's a grassroots movement. We didn't wait on the corporate structure. We didn't wait on the political structure. We understood the importance of us pushing the culture line, and I've always said this. When you get your culture in order, everything else will fall into place. Once you understand who you are as a culture, everything else falls into place, and things are now falling into place. You dig? Now listen, now that we have the reparations thing popping, they're throwing out everything in the kitchen sink to kind of get our focus off of it or to undermine reparations. Okay? One tactic they use, like we saw down in Memphis, down in Tennessee, they got these two guys out here who are basically some actors to a certain degree, doing all of this performative political activism. So they're trying to appeal to the younger black people by pushing a lot of this buffoonery out here. Okay? And I don't want to harp on those guys too much, but those guys, all that, I'm so glad. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Y'all got to see some of the other stuff these guys are doing. This is something else these guys were doing. Look at this. Look at this here. They were doing this with one of them. They were walking around with a casket going into some state house. Look at this. You see that's the In Cobra guy, the Mark Thompson from In Cobra with them, and then you got the old Boule crowd. Okay, so this is basically they're stumping for abortion. They're walking up there with the casket of a child. I don't know. It's all too performative for me. This symbolic performative nonsense. We ain't on that. We're not on that. Yes, a baby casket. We're not on that, dude. With Reverend Barber, yeah. So yeah, they're on this type of stuff. It's Nashville. Okay, my bad. Is it Nashville? I say Memphis. Don't put that in Memphis. All right, Memphis is getting on me right now. My bad. Was it Nashville? I get some of the stuff mixed up. They're like, oh, no. We ain't claiming them. No. We ain't claiming them. So this is what I'm talking about. Is that for gun control? Who knows? It ain't for us. That might have been for gun control. Some people said it was for abortion. It's too performative. And we ain't on that. We ain't on that, ladies and gentlemen. So now they're really ramping it up. Now that we are talking about reparations heavy right now, do y'all know that they are about to have a reparations conversation at a conference that's being put together? is it this weekend? When is the conference? It's a 5-day conference. They have a conference going down called the State of the Black World Conference. All right? The State of the Black World. All right? That's going down. And basically, it's a bunch of Caribbeans, Pan-Africanists, and some of the African nations. They're going to be speaking in Baltimore, and they're all clicked in with the Boule and the whole shebang. They're clicked in within Cobra. All of these folks, and they're coming to the United States. They're coming to Baltimore, Caribbean leaders, to demand reparations at historic U.S. conference. Right here, this is the Barbados Prime Minister. So they're coming over here to latch on to our reparations momentum, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming to latch on to reparations. Several Caribbean leaders will demand reparations for slavery at a historic conference in the United States, April 19th to the 23rd. Well, that started today. It actually started today at the Baltimore Convention Center in Baltimore. The State of the Black World Conference is a 5-day conference to examine the condition of black people in the U.S. and globally. Oh, so they're going to come and start talking about our reparations. They're going to try to mix all the BS together and basically undermine what we're doing. Because you know what they're doing. They're going to take it away from being lineage-based. Yeah? They're going to take it away from being lineage-based. This is going to be, they're having Tetherpalooza right now. It's Tetherpalooza. This is why we use the term tether. This is tethering times 10. Now let's look at more articles about this. There's more articles about this. Hold on. Let's look at all of this stuff. Caribbean leaders to demand reparations. Whoop-de-whoop. All right, so they got her with the Stacey Abrams gap. Okay. Oh, man. So they got all these people from Colombia. A vice president from Colombia. Somebody from Ghana. So they're bringing everybody in. They're talking about the son of Marcus Garvey is going to be there. Julius Garvey. They're going to be pushing the Pan-Africanism line. They're going to be mixing everything up with what we got going on. I'm not cool with this. Jamaica's long-serving Prime Minister, P.J. Patterson, will be there. It's Tetherpalooza. All right, yeah, they should talk about other stuff. They got Danny Glover. He's going to be there. I don't know what that means. They always have him in the reparations conversations like that means something. So it's Tetherpalooza. Let me look up some more articles about this stuff. I'm just trying to break all of it down. We're breaking all this stuff down. Let's see some of this other stuff here. News One covered it. So again, they got a lot of Boule people who are going to be there. What did News One say? Where we at? Where we at? Everything you need to know about the State of the Black World Conference. All right. An upcoming event. Talk about the impacts and the implication of the 2022 midterms and on the state of Black America in the Pan-African world. Okay. So they got Danny Glover up here. Oh, we're gonna touch on environmental justice. Oh Lord, this is what I'm talking about, man. Gentrification. Are y'all looking at some of this stuff? Wait, let me highlight it. Okay, y'all not seeing this stuff. Let me highlight it. Hold on. Let me highlight some of the stuff I'm showing you. Okay. They're going to be talking about environmental justice, gentrification, as well as a hip-hop summit to explore the role of hip-hop in the Black freedom struggle. And we're going to get on the hip-hop thing in a minute later on in the broadcast today. I want to touch on some hip-hop stuff too. So they got Danny Glover, Mark Morial, Akon. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. It's Tetherpalooza. I have a problem with them talking about reparations and them trying to demand some of these non-FBA leaders talking about they want to demand reparations from the U.S. The sole purpose of that is simply to tether on to the momentum of reparations that we got going on now. I don't respect it. These are some of the main people telling us, you niggas are looking for a handout. Pull up your bootstraps. They're the main ones telling us to pull up our bootstraps. So now, Akon telling us, get over slavery. Remember? Akon. Yes. Akon, AKA, y'all need to get over slavery. So now you're going to be at a conference about reparations? Come on, man. It's the tether's ball. They are deliberately trying to fumble the bag. They see we got momentum. So they're funding them to run interference, guys. They are supposed to come in there and talk about everything under the sun and start mixing their BS in with our reparations. All black people needs to get it. CARICOM, they're going to bring CARICOM. They're bringing them CARICOM people up there. And here's the real problem. CARICOM doesn't even include us. They're bringing some people from the African Union to come up there and speak about reparations and all that. We, foundational Black Americans, we're not even a part of the African Union. They haven't allowed us to be a part of the African Union. We are not a part of the African Union. We're not a part of CARICOM. Yet they want to come over here and glom off of our momentum. This is why we delineate and say, hey, man, some of y'all gonna have to fight your own battles here. This is why y'all see why we have these conferences and these mixers and these get-togethers, so that grassroots folks, we all got to be on the same page, man. These people, they're fighting dirty, and which is warfare. This is warfare. Yes, Sheila Jackson Lee, she's going to be there. Yeah, the African Union. They have the African Union. We're not a part of that. Yeah? We're not in the African Union, and I'm cool on that. All right, if that's what it is, let's keep that same energy across the board. Y'all don't let us in none of those movements where there's going to be some money popping. If y'all talking about getting some money, y'all ain't really stomping. We're the only ones who's stomping. And when we get something going on and we're 12, 13% of the population over here, we get things going. We get the conversation moving for real. So now y'all want to come and tether on to us, and I'm cool on that. I'm cool as hell on that. Yeah? We have to check that, because they are going to mix up reparations with everything under the sun. See, their mentality is if we can't get it, can't nobody get it. It's that kind of energy. If we can't get it, can't nobody get it. And let's understand, you see, it's a lot of them old Negroes, them old guard Sambos, that in Cobra, those are a whole bunch of old Negroes, man, who want to mess everything up for everybody. Well, a lot of folks are coming in the room. We got a lot of folks in the room. Come on in the room, guys. Now, I'm going to play a clip in a second. Let me play. There's another old Negro that they done dug out from somewhere. They had him on Dr. Phil. Did y'all see that guy on Dr. Phil talking about reparations? Look, it's the attack of the elderly niggas right now. They got this old Sambo to talk down on reparations. I'm going to play that clip in a minute. But before I do, let's take a commercial break real quick. Let's take another commercial break. I'm going to play the clip of the old Negro on Dr. Phil talking about reparations, somebody that they done dug up because they had a reparations conversation on Dr. Phil. So that more controlled opposition. But check this out. Let's take a real quick commercial break while people are coming on in the room. Hit the like button. Also, hit the share button. Share this on Twitter right now, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Don't move a muscle. Hey, what's going on? It's Tariq Nasheed. Listen, whenever you want to go out to the clubs, you want to go out and enjoy the nightlife, you want to go out there and enjoy the partying life, and you start getting prepared to get tooled up and jeweled up, and you start taking a shower, and you're using some of these common products that's out there now for body wash, and you come out of the shower smelling like a banana daiquiri. Are you tired of that? Then you need to step it up and get with products like Teej Hanley, because Teej Hanley, they have a body wash for men, the clean flavor, And this body wash has a nice smooth feel to it, and it has a nice masculine smell. So you're not smelling all colorful when you get out of the shower. So you have to check this out. You got to understand this. You have to get your underarm game in order too when you get out of the shower, because look, mackin' and musty don't go together. So you need to check out their natural deodorant called Deo. This is all natural, doesn't flake up, doesn't cake up under your arms, and it's aluminum free, so you're not getting all types of pesticides under your arms. You're going to be nice, smooth, smelling good, and natural, and that's always a plus. Now look, check this out. Teej Hanley, they also have an amazing product for the guys out there. This one is an anti-chafing powder, and it's called Balls. Now fellas, some of the fellas need this, because you got to understand, you have to keep the fruits and vegetables fresh down there. You understand what I'm talking about? And if you want to take the produce to market, you got to have the produce smelling fresh. So this is a product that you definitely want to get with. So understand, Teej Hanley is an amazing product that guys can use. And ladies, you can get some of the Teej Hanley products for your guy, because you know what your guy smells like. Ladies, you don't want your guy coming to bed, y'all trying to get intimate, and he smells like deli meat. You want to make sure that the meat is seasoned before it hits the oven. You know what I'm talking about? So get the Teej Hanley products right now. Get this ball powder. Get your box of Teej Hanley. It's an amazing product. Get your box right now. Hit the link below. You're going to get 30% off on your first box. Plus, you're going to get a free gift. You can't beat that. Give it a try.
Boom, there it is. We back. Had to pay a couple of bills. Had to pay a little bill or two, you dig? All right. Yeah, I had the Morris Day vibe going on there, you dig? But yeah, get your Teej Hanley, man. Real good stuff. But listen. We're talking about reparations. All right? We're talking about reparations. Somebody said Ghana's accepting us back. Man, if you don't stop. All right, listen. Let me play this clip of this Negro. He was on Dr. Phil. I don't know where they got this dude from. And they had him talking about reparations. They had a conversation about reparations, and they got this guy. And boy, you know, they got him for a reason, and this is the reason why they got him. So you know not to have me on there. Or somebody like me, somebody like us. But they got this guy here talking about reparations. All right. Hold on one second. Let me get this together. Blow it up a little bit. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this guy right here. Hold on one second. Hold on.
If you dissect it, you will find there were about 3,700 free blacks who owned 12,000 slaves, black slaves. The question is, do the descendants of those free blacks who owned black slaves, do they pay? Blacks really benefited more the first 100 years after slavery we have in the last 50 years. I was born in 1937 during the Depression. Everyone in my small, low-income black community, 98% of the households had a man and a woman raising children.
What does that have to do with our reparations? These are talking points from white supremacist think tanks, by the way.
Elderly people could walk safely in that community without fear of being assaulted by...
This has nothing to do with reparations, dude. These are talking points, dude.
Their grandchildren. Never heard a gunfire during that time. Never heard of a child being shot to death in the crib. But there are 50 children today who have been shot and killed in our cities. If you talk about remedies, we've got to look beyond saying that every solution has to have a winner and a loser, that blacks can only benefit if whites lose. We have to be defined more than just victims of oppression.
Okay, boy, they got this Sambo to hit all the Sambo talking points. Boy, he hit all the Sambo talking points. How do whites losing? This ain't about losing. It's only us getting something is equivalent to losing. You see? When they gave money to the Ukrainians, that wasn't nobody losing. When they give money to illegal immigrants who come over here, they don't say we're losing. They just give it to them. But just the thought of us getting something that we're supposed to get and it's exclusive to us, that's the equivalent of a white loss. So black subjugation is a win, if that's what you're saying. Us being downtrodden is a win, because if us getting compensatory justice is a loss, that means us being disenfranchised is a win in the minds of the white supremacists. And we're not going to play that kind of game where you feel good about yourself because of our detriment. We're not going to play that game. I don't care how many old Sambos you bring out like that. We are owed a very specific debt. All that was back when my day, we can lock our doors. That has nothing to do with our reparations claim. There's Native Americans who get drunk, they fight, they get into violent acts. You don't say they shouldn't get their monthly checks. You know? It's only with us. There's all these caveats of us why we shouldn't get what we're supposed to get because of crime here, crime there. I don't give a damn. We are supposed to get the debt that's owed, and we're going to stay on that square. They're wheeling out all the old Negroes. They're coming at us from every angle, ladies and gentlemen. And we got to be ready for it. And they're coming at the old Sambo angle. From the old Sambo angle, they're coming with the Caribbeans coming over here trying to jump on the reparations conversation to move it around. And then they're trying the old Pan-Africanist tricks with some of that passive-aggressive ass Pan-Africanism that they throw at us. Here, I'm going to play this clip from this other African dude talking about us, how they want us to come over to Africa, because somebody in the chat room was like, well, Ghana, they want us to come home. No, they want us to come over there and drop off a bag. Ain't really trying to build nothing. Black folks are going over there and they're stealing people's houses, giving people these janky land leases, and then kicking them off the land and having a whole bunch of the Sambos around take all of their stuff. No, it's a finesse, man. And the name of the game is to have all of these people tell us that we are foreigners on our own land. This is why our movement is so important, for us to understand the importance of us being foundational Black Americans. See, the white supremacists, they have no problem with us relishing some of the great civilizations of ancient Africa. They love that because that takes our focus off of our homeland here. They love us talking about Egypt and all. They love it. Hey, come on, nigga, talk about all of it. Oh, talk about King Tut. Oh, we love it. Talk about it, Negro. We don't have a problem with that. Now that, notice when we start saying, hey, you know what? We ain't gonna really talk about King Tut and all that stuff from 1,000 years ago. Let's talk about our homeland here. When we start saying, hey, you know what? We're doing a lot of research and we see that this is really our homeland. They're like, uh-oh. Oh, we didn't want these Negroes to wake up. Notice when they have a problem with something, that means you're hitting on the truth. Because remember, over here, they were getting a lot of the Aboriginal people who were Black and just reclassifying them and just saying, okay, you're a Negro. Whatever tribe you were associated with, well, you're a Negro now. And they went in and literally changed people's birth certificates. You dig? Because, see, you got to understand this. We got this movement popping heavy. And a lot of people over there in Africa, they depend on us to go over there longing for ancestral ties. See, if you think you don't have a home base, you long for an ancestral tie. They're the main ones telling, you nigga, you can come home. You are a Nakata. You are a lost nigga. No one loves you, but you can come home and do a tour of the Amina Castle for $50. You know, they want us to come over there and drop off some tourism money. Yeah? But let me play this clip of this dude talking about why they want to hook up with us, why, you know, Black Americans kind of prop them up. And he tries to make it sound like it's somewhat of a positive thing, but you can see the finesse in what he's saying. Hold on, listen to this. Hold on.
How do we become economically free as Africans and Ghanaians?
Well, one of the first things is we have to realize that the only people that are going to have our back is the African Americans.
Wow. You see,
That's the synergy that we have got to understand. We have got to go get our cousins, our siblings, because that's the only hope we have.
Okay, now that sounds good. Yeah, those niggas are our cousins. We have to get our cousins. We got to get our brothers. And the minute we go over there, all that cousin brother shit, it goes out the window because we trying to get land, and then they start finessing us out of land and money and all that stuff. Hold on.
If you don't believe me, let's talk about it. Has China not been to Africa?
Yes.
Has America not been to Africa?
Yeah.
Has Europe? Dutch? Has not every nation, every race been to Africa?
Okay, can y'all hear that good? Let me get the sound right. Hold on. Let me get the sound right. All right, hold on. Here we go.
And what have they done? They have come and they have gone back.
Right, yes.
Everything that you do with them, they take back eventually to their nation and prosper their people. They've come now and taken our cocoa, taking it to China, and now China is growing cocoa.
Now, he's telling the truth. Because, see, the Asians come over there, and the Asians ain't got no ancestral longing for you. The Asians come over there to get a bag. The Asians are going over there saying, hey, let me get some of them resources out your ass, and then go get those resources and take them home to Asia, to places in Asia.
All over the place, right? The African American has no nation. He has no home. This is his home.
Nigga, please. Oh, we got a nation and a home. Yes, we do, and that's not our home.
That's your only hope for economic viability, which is why it's very important that we grow with the diaspora.
We're his only hope for economic viability. I want y'all to read between the lines of what he's saying.
Because they're the only one that can come here, put money in you, and not take it anywhere.
See what he's saying? That he's trying to make it seem like some big old family thing, but no, those niggas, if we keep telling them they ain't got no home, they'll come over here and just drop the money off.
They have nowhere to take it to.
Oh, yes, we do.
So guess what they do when they come here? They leave it here. And we have got to find ways to continue to build our bridge such that more of our brothers and sisters become more awoke. And trust me, it is a heck of a fight because that American system.
You see the con game? You see the con game there? Yeah, us woke is us coming over there dropping. You see, it was passive aggressive. They try to make it seem like, oh yeah, our brothers, come over, our brothers, we all build together, build the bridge. No, y'all want the low self-esteem Negroes to come over there. Like I remember a few weeks ago, I played this sister who's on that Pan-African vibe, and she's over there complaining about getting finessed left and right. Look, I'm over here trying to build, and man, I got with this guy, and he's trying to get a green card out of me to go to the States. Ma'am, when y'all gonna wake up to the goddamn scams, dude? It's a finesse. And they love running around talking about we ain't got no home, you a kata. No, yes we do. This is our home. We built the United States from scratch. This is our home here. This is our nation here. Yes, we do have a home and a nation. You don't have a home and a nation. Y'all don't have a home or a nation. Y'all got these brand new nations that just got decolonized on paper, but they're still colonized by the banking system. That's why the Asians can come over there and finesse and take everything. Don't holler about you got your own land, and then in the one breath, we got our own land, and then in the next breath, the Asians are coming and getting our resources and taking them. The whites are coming to get our resources and taking them. That means you ain't got your own damn land, buddy. That means you ain't got your own land. The Asians are running you, and the Europeans are still running you. They can come over there and get the resources anytime they feel like it. So they want us to come over there just to drop money off. So the name of the game is to get us on this ancestral longing. That's why us and the foundational Black American movement that's going on now, that's why the Tethers are so mad. You want to see why the Tethers are so angry and pissed off? Because now their scams are just going to dirt right now. We're not buying into the Pan-African scams. We're not going on the tours no more like that. We don't want to go see Elmina Castle like that no more. You dig? We ain't longing to go over there for some faded ancestral memory from 1,000 years ago. We ain't falling for the finesse. That's why they hate me, because I'm schooling people on our history and our heritage. We do know who we are. We know more about our ancestry than most people, especially them. They don't know about their history. They just know that they are from some random tribe, and y'all don't even know where the tribe originated from. And y'all don't even know what the name of the countries were before you got colonized and recolonized 3 and 4 times over. I'm not saying that to be mean-spirited. I'm talking history here. We're talking real history. We're in here heavy. Everybody hit the like button right here. Hit the like button. We're in here heavy. Hit the like button. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. Yeah? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and hit the retweet button and repost this on your Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen. Repost it. Because the name of the game is for everybody to try to erase our history. We are always the target for people trying to glom onto us. Because we're the ones who stay and fight. We stay and build. We don't run. We don't flee. We stay and make things happen. And we get hit from all sides. We're getting hit by the old CARICOM Negroes. We're getting hit by the Pan-African Negroes. We're getting hit by the old guard, the Boule crowd. The civil rights crowd are going after us. Now the black and brown and the anti-black Latinos, we're getting hit with them. And we were talking about the John Leguizamos and all that. And y'all, as you know, we're working on a hip hop documentary right now because, see, we have to really get this culture in order. We have to understand who created what, why we created it, when we created it. We have to start documenting a lot of stuff, because what happens is we, foundational Black Americans, we're so creative. We do stuff and, we don't even bother to document a lot of stuff. We just kind of do it, and we create something the next week, and then we'll create something the next week. So we give a lot of our culture away. We do things and then we give the culture away to a lot of people. And we have to start documenting what we do and claiming what we do and putting our stamp on what we do. Now, I got the documentary coming out, and there's this one scholar. I won't say scholar. I'm not going to denigrate the guy. This Puerto Rican guy, and y'all probably heard me mention him before, Dr. Tariq Nasheed. Now, Tariq Nasheed, he's one of these guys right now who's really stomping hard to tether the Puerto Ricans onto hip-hop culture as the creators. We know there's the Fat Joe and all these people talking about Puerto Ricans and blacks created hip-hop 50-50, and this Tariq Nasheed guy is one of the people in the forefront of that lie, that we created it 50-50. And not only that, he's taking the we created it 50-50 to another level. He's starting to say, which is what I told people was going to happen, just like with the Jamaicans. When we say blacks and Jamaicans created hip-hop, sooner or later, which is not true, sooner or later, somebody's going to be like, well, you know what? It was really just us Jamaicans. That's what Busta Rhymes did. So Dr. Tariq Nasheed, he's been putting out a lot of this information, and thankfully he's being debunked. There's a lot of the old school cats who are still around who's debunking a lot of his talking points. And he's like, not just 50-50. He was like, yeah, the Puerto Ricans were there from day one. And in fact, it was the Puerto Ricans who created B-boy culture. He's going on that vibe. He's starting to say that we actually got stuff from the Puerto Ricans as far as hip hop. We got it from them. This guy's dead ass serious. Shout out to the hip hop historian on YouTube. There's a brother, I don't know who he is. He's anonymous, but this brother be countering a lot of Dr. Nasheed's talking points, and that brother be giving him the blues. That brother be having so many receipts. That brother, I think hip hop historian is from the Bronx somewhere, and that brother be hitting him with too many receipts. But Dr. Nasheed came out with his own YouTube documentary, and he mentions me a lot in there. He's trying to get in front of our documentary that we're working on now. We're going to start working on it hard body. I'm going to play some of the clips from Dr. Nasheed's documentary. And I know Dr. Cologne is going to like the shine that I'm going to give him right now. I'm giving you some shine, Dr. Cologne. All right. I'm giving Dr. Cologne some shine here. And let's fair use in Dr. Cologne, and I'm being very respectful with the conversation. Fair use, but let me get to some of Dr. Cologne's talking points. All right, let me get to some of his talking points. This is where he's talking about the Puerto Ricans created up-rocking. Basically, he's saying that the Puerto Ricans created up-rocking, the Puerto Rican gangs created up-rocking in 1969 or something like that. All right, let me play some clips of Dr. Cologne. All right, Dr. Derek Cologne. He's a hip-hop scholar, and he's hell-bent on tethering Puerto Ricans to the culture we created. Hold on.
Where those who would say, nah, this really should have been called the rock dance or rocking. I think they're synonymous with each other. Okay, these dances. So you got the rockers, right?
Okay.
As late as the late 60s. And then 74, 75 is where you start to see now you know, anybody can say what they want to say. Nobody knows who went to the floor first. Now, this is the big controversy.
So going to the floor, basically, Dr. Cologne's argument is that some of the early B-boys, like Sasa, Trixie, the twins, he's trying to say they weren't real B-boys because they went to the floor, but they didn't stay on the floor. He's trying to undermine them and put it on the Puerto Ricans, saying they broke down to the floor and they were the real B-boys because they stayed on the floor longer. That's kind of his argument, that they did moves on the floor longer, the spinning, basically the acrobatics, which ain't really B-boying, to be honest. Let me clear some stuff up let's talk hip-hop for a minute. We as Foundation of Black America, we always done dances, you going back to the 30s, 40s, where we would do like an up-rocking type of thing and then broke down on the floor, did something real quick and rhythmically, and then got back up and did some rhythmic moves. That was what morphed into what would be b-boying in the 70s. That's what the twins and those guys were doing. Everything was on beat. Everything was rhythmic. So later on in the late 70s, the Puerto Ricans, no disrespect to them, but a lot of them, they focused on the acrobatics on the floor. You dig? But that had been done already by brothers. The focus wasn't just the acrobatics. That was something that accentuated the whole vibe, the whole dance. It was a whole mixture. You had to keep the rhythm going, you see? But in a lot of the non-black people, when it comes to b-boying, what they do is really acrobatics. A lot of non-black people, when you see these breaking competitions or whatever, these are gymnastic competitions for the most part. Even our brother Charlie Rock said something to that degree, how, if you b-boying, there has to be a rhythm. There's a rhythm to everything. And truth be told, a lot of these non-black folks, they can't really dance. They can't dance rhythmically. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them just can't dance. So, yeah, they'll spin around. Yeah, you'll spin on your hand for 15 minutes. Yeah, because you can't really dance. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you'll spin on your knee for 5-10 minutes because you can't really dance. Let's keep it a buck. Let's just put it all in context. Our FBA family, we would do a couple of spin moves and all that, and then got back up and then got right back into the groove, and then went back down and hit the floor, did some fly, and then hopped back up and got on beat and got back into another groove. You see, it was fluid. It was like water because we had rhythm. A lot of these folks ain't got no rhythm. So yeah, you got to spin on your head for 15 fucking minutes. All right? So let me play some more of Dr. Cologne. We're going to break down a lot of his stuff. Hold on. So I'm just putting everything in context here. Hold on.
Because it's always shown that the Puerto Rican B-boys have always said, I saw black B-boys doing it first.
Right. Right, which is they're telling the truth. And he hates that this is Dr. Cologne's, this is another thing that he hates. Because see, Dr. Cologne, he sits up here and he talks about all these Puerto Rican legends who started it. And then when you interview the Puerto Ricans, they were like, no, we got it from the black guys. Even on his own, he has interviewed some of these old Puerto Rican brothers, like Batch from the TBB, and Dr. Cologne loved talking about the Bronx Boys, who was a Puerto Rican b-boy crew, saying they were the first real b-boy crew, and the Zulu Kings were whatever. But he had Batch on his broadcast, on his live, and Batch was like, yeah, we got it from the blacks. I first saw blacks doing the break dancing and breaking it down on the floor. So even his own people are killing his argument. His own Puerto Rican people kills his argument. And let me say this. You hear a lot of this revisionist history from the newer school Puerto Rican dudes. The old head Puerto Ricans, the old school guys who were in the gangs in Puerto Rico, in the Bronx in the 60s, the late 60s, early 70s, the handful that did hang out with black people in the Bronx, I mean, the ones who were of age, because a lot of these guys, Dr. Cologne, they were kids around that time. Fat Joe, these guys were children. So they weren't really hanging at some of those jams and those parties like they weren't. Even Kool Herc said, man, I can tell how old somebody was until they didn't come to my parties. Herc said that. A lot of folks say, yeah. A lot of folks say they came to my parties and I found out what year they were born. I'm like, nah, you weren't 7 and 8 years old at my party, bro. No. Yeah, DJ FaZe checks a lot of them too on Michael Wayne TV. But the thing is, a lot of the older Puerto Rican dudes who were around at that time, they are actually very honest. The Whipper Whips and the DJ Wiz, all of these dudes, those Puerto Ricans, they keep it 100. They're like, yeah, you know what? I was one of the few people who were there. I'm Puerto Rican. It wasn't a lot of us there. When we hung out with the brothers in the Bronx and we went to some of those early hip hop jams, it wasn't a lot of us there. They keep it a buck. They're like, yeah, in fact, we were kind of, we were guests in the game. There's only a handful of Puerto Ricans. We got everything. We learned from the blacks. We got the dance moves from the blacks. So the older guys, the older Puerto Ricans, they keep it 100. They're real solid about it. You know why? Because those guys, in order for them to be let into those circles in the Bronx in the 70s, because remember, it was segregated. All that they're trying to make it seem like there was this big old black and brown coalition in the Bronx in the 70s and early 70s, which is horse crap. But the one or two Puerto Rican cats who did get allowed into some of those b-boy parties with the brothers, they had to be solid. They had to be hella solid. They had to be stand-up dudes. You understand? You couldn't be the kind of cat somebody brought you around to a black housing project and then you turn around and start talking crazy about how everybody got something from you and you created a culture. You couldn't say that type of shit back then. You knew better. You couldn't say that back then. So you had to be a stand-up person. And a lot of the Puerto Rican cats who were down, the one or two who was around in the very early days of hip-hop, they were actually stand-up dudes. And when you listen to them talk now, they give up the fact. They're like, we didn't create nothing as Puerto Ricans. It was the blacks who did it. We pop our collar to them. Whipper Whip. He was like, yeah, it was only like 2 or 3 of us at the time. Kaz's DJ Wiz, he said it was only a handful of us, and the other Puerto Ricans were trying to fight us. They were upset. Why are you hanging with those blacks? Why are you hanging with those Morenas? Why are you hanging with those Morenos? They admit this. So Dr. Cologne tries to create this black and brown utopia that just didn't exist at the time. You dig? You think them people didn't have the Medalar La Raza mindset then? And they got it now. Let's keep it a buck. Let me play some more of his clips. Hold on.
Well, are they really saying that the black B-boys were the first ones who did it? Or are they really just saying, I saw black B-boys doing it first? For me, the first time I saw B-boying was a black B-boy. That does not mean that black B-boys are the inventors of breaking.
Who's the inventor then? Boy, the leaps of logic. What kind of logic is that? Well, then who's the inventor? If all the Puerto Ricans said they saw black B-boys doing it first, that does mean that they're the inventors of B-boying. What are you saying, brother?
Of B-boying. That's not what that means. It means that's who I saw doing it first. But then, the very next day I saw Puerto Ricans doing it. So, again, nobody knows who went down first.
It was foundational black Americans. We know that. And him saying that the up-rocking dance Oh, my bad. Damn, I hate when I'm talking and y'all, hate when I'm doing that. I'm talking and y'all don't hear me. So like I said, I'm sorry, guys. We had a dead air thing. Okay, my bad. So like I said, he was talking about the Puerto Ricans creating the up-rock dancing. The up-rock dance was basically the Charleston. That was basically another variation of the Charleston. We've had all types of dances like the Charleston. We've had those forever. So the up rocking and all, that's the Charleston, dude. We've been doing stuff like that. And the running man, that's another variation of the Charleston. We've been the Lindsay Hop, all of these Charleston type dances that we've done. So let me play some more of these clips. There's another clip where he talks about why the Puerto Ricans were wearing swastikas. And he names me in this because I pointed this out. The Puerto Ricans wearing swastikas. They were running around here with swastikas back in the day. Now listen to this. Listen to the splaining. Yeah, because we've been countering this guy's stuff. Hold on. Oh yeah. All right. Hold on.
Now it's alleged that in the 1970s, blacks and Puerto Ricans, blacks and Latinos did not get along. In fact, it's alleged that the Puerto Ricans hated the blacks. And so you saw the little quote that I put up, which clearly states from Tariq Nasheed that, Puerto Ricans, primarily in the gangs, didn't like black people. In fact, they wore swastikas.
Didn't say they didn't all like them, but they were wearing swastikas. See, don't put extras on it. Let's understand, there's a culture of anti-blackness in Puerto Rican society. There is a culture. You guys have a culture of merolar la raza. Y'all marginalize the black Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico. So y'all bring that same mindset here to a certain degree. Now, yeah, there might be some cool ones here or there, but culturally, there's an anti-black sentiment.
So let's speak to that climate of the 1970s in the Bronx. You have to understand, you just saw the clips. It was heavily influenced by gangs. And so you just could not travel to different neighborhoods. But within these street families, within these gangs, there were gangs that had both blacks and Puerto Ricans within the gangs. Let's speak briefly to the issue with the swastikas. Let's speak to that. What was the swastika?
Oh, here come the splaining.
And were the Puerto Ricans the only ones wearing the swastika?
Oh, look, here's that argument. Well, there were other people who had swastikas too. That don't mean nothing. That don't make it better. The hell are you talking about?
The answer to that question is absolutely not. The swastika was worn by the Puerto Ricans, the blacks, the white gangs.
And the black gangs who wore the swastikas, most of them, from what I understand, those were Caribbean dudes. Those were non-FBA, and a lot of them have more of a camaraderie with the Puerto Ricans and the Latinos.
It was a menacing symbol. That's it. It's part of gang culture.
No, it's not part of gang culture. No, it's not part of gang culture. Yeah, white supremacist gangs are gangs who identify with white supremacy.
It was not the Puerto Ricans were wearing it because they were racist and they had a white agenda against black gangs. That is foolish.
How was that foolish? And you have white Hispanics running around here with the alt-right now.
When you talk to gang members from the 1970s, outlaws, they will tell you the meaning of the swastika. It was a menacing symbol. It was
the Nazis, dude. Y'all can try to remix the swastika all you want, dude. These dudes identified with white supremacy.
Reserved for those who were considered the enforcers of the gang. They were known as the Gestapos. They were the ones that would enforce punishment. So they wore the Gestapo symbol. But you had black spades that had the Gestapos and the swastika symbols, and you had white gangs that.
Of course, the white gangs are going to have them. But what black spades are the? Where are my New York people? Where the hell are my New York people? Where are my New York people? What black spades were running around with swastikas? If there were the Caribbean ones, where are my New York people? When did y'all see a bunch of black people running around with swastikas, New Yorkers? Family, it was a racially based thing when the Puerto Ricans were running around with swastikas. I talked to several brothers and sisters from the Bronx who were there in the 70s. They used to call the Puerto Ricans Germans. They used to call the Puerto Ricans Germans. Where are my New York people? Am I lying? Several people have told me that. They used to call them Germans. It wasn't just a symbol of strength. No, they were like, these are people who identify with the white supremacists. They called them Germans, dude. I ain't never, what black gang members were running around New York with swastikas other than a few Caribbean ones, probably. And somebody said, you ain't never seen no black spades running around with no swastikas. You understand? Listen. Many of those Latinos identified with whiteness then. That's why they wore it. And you look at the alt-right movement and some of these white supremacist groups now, notice a lot of them now have a lot of Hispanic gang members in these groups. The Proud Boys, full of Hispanics. They had the president of the Proud Boys, Terrio. Enrique Terrio. He's Hispanic. He's Cuban. A lot of these white supremacist groups have Latino leaders. Hell, Nick Fuentes. Fuentes is a Latino last name. You got one of the most prominent white supremacists running around here now, Nick Fuentes. Come on, don't act like, it wasn't about race. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was about race. Them brothers in the Bronx weren't calling them Germans for nothing. Yeah? Wow. Somebody said they still call them Germans. This man is really changing history. Come on, Dr. Cologne. We could be here debunking this stuff all day. Let me play one of his things on graffiti. He's talking about graffiti. All right, because they're trying to claim all the elements. He's trying to claim all of it. He's trying to claim they created all the elements. All right, let me go to the graffiti conversation he had. All right, this is him talking about graffiti. Now, we pointed out that graffiti was started in Philadelphia by a foundational black American named Cornbread. All right, he's saying, well, yeah, there was graffiti in New York before Cornbread. Not the modern graffiti as we know it. There was not modern graffiti. People writing on walls, that's different from modern graffiti. All right? See, this is why we have to jot down history and be right and correct with the history. Let me play some of his stuff about graffiti. All right, hold on.
Okay, with the beginning being with Julio 204. Okay, we're going to see that in the chart.
Let me take it back.
Let's deal with the other elephant in the room, which is namely that it was a man from Philadelphia a kid from Philadelphia named Cornbread, who is the father of modern graffiti, which is simply just not the truth.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Graffiti writing before him.
Not like what he was doing, and he knows this.
And graffiti writers in New York predate him.
Okay, now let's tackle each thing one by one. Okay, let me get on camera. Modern graffiti as an art form is different. Hip hop graffiti, it became associated with hip hop for a reason. And then when he mentions, well, there was graffiti done in New York before Cornbread, it's true. But that was another foundational Black American who was doing it. Who they're talking about? They're talking about a brother named Ted Jones. That's another foundational Black American brother. Y'all type what I'm saying so y'all can justify all this stuff, so y'all can verify everything I'm saying. I like to bring receipts. Type in Ted Jones. Ted Jones was the first person to do artful graffiti in New York. He didn't use aerosol cans. Ted Jones, foundational Black American. He was kind of a bohemian, artsy type of jazz dude. He was friends with Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker, the jazz great. Charlie Parker died, so Ted Jones wrote all over the city, "Bird Lives," and that became kind of an artistic type of movement. All right? Bird Lives. That was another foundational Black American, our good brother Ted Jones from Cairo, Illinois, but he moved to New York. So you're still talking about foundational Black Americans. But even that is not what the modern graffiti movement is. What makes the graffiti now a part of hip hop was the rebellious nature of it. Okay? Hip hop within itself is a rebellious culture. That's what makes it its own culture. You're rebelling against the status quo. You're rebelling against the mainstream. You're creating your own culture while remaining somewhat anonymous, playing by your own rules, getting notoriety, playing by your own rules, yet not having your real government identity revealed, but showing your artistic value. That's really what hip hop is all about. Puerto Ricans, for the most part, they've always tried to amalgamate inside of white society. You could not have created hip hop because the energy that you have as a culture is in hip hop. We know that we're on the outside of the mainstream. So we knew the importance of creating our own culture within the society because we knew we were not going to get in certain doors as foundational Black Americans. The Puerto Ricans thought, okay, if I just kind of walk a certain way and comb my hair a certain way, I can get accepted as white at some point. That's the antithesis of hip hop. Now you have some who were so enamored by the culture, they started to be students of the culture later on down the line of hip hop. But let's go back to the graffiti thing. So graffiti, modern graffiti, was basically spray painting or painting your name or painting some art in a vandalism type of way, yet in an artistic way, for the purpose of elevating your brand name while remaining anonymous. I want you to catch that. That's what makes modern graffiti modern graffiti. That's what made it a part of hip hop culture. You are using vandalism as art, elevating your name, yet remaining anonymous. Because that was the part of the graffiti artist. The name of the game was to remain anonymous. That's why you would put up nicknames. That was the appeal of it. You would get your name in the paper. You would vandalize and put artwork on a building and the city would talk about it. You would tag and nobody knew who you were. A lot of these guys were under the radar. That's why you don't know the real identity of a lot of these guys now. Okay? So Cornbread was the first person to do that. Cornbread out of Philadelphia. And by the way, I talked to Cornbread a couple of days ago. He's still alive. He's going to be in this new documentary we're doing. Okay? Cornbread is still alive. Cornbread started tagging when he was in the juvenile facility, a youth detention center 1965, he would tag his name in there. When he got released in 67, then he started to tag his name all over Philadelphia. Right when he got out, all of a sudden, the movement spread to New York, right in the late 60s. All right? Why did that movement spread to New York in the late 60s? See, they're trying to say, well, cornbread, it was already going on in New York, and cornbread didn't have anything going with New York. Let me play some Dr. Cologne talk. And I know, Dr. Cologne, you're watching, and we're being respectful. We're having a good intellectual conversation. Now, hold on. Let me play what he's saying here. Hold on.
And what's funny is that when you look at Phase 2's chart, let's talk about, you have Lee Quinones, who is the first to do top to bottom handball courts.
That was years later, man. Come on.
I mean, full-blown graph handball courts. So the quote-unquote first element is a New York City thing.
No, it's not. It's a Philly thing.
Okay, it is not a Philadelphia thing. It is not anywhere. It is a New York City thing.
Now watch this chart they got.
Okay, with the beginning being with Julio 204.
Okay, watch what he's saying. He's saying the beginning is Julio 204.
Okay, we're going to see that in the chart. So let's check out the chart. All right, so we begin. The graffiti, the formative years, 1969 to 1974, as recalled by Phase 2.
Okay, so let's look at the chart. Now, they got the first person, Julio 204, who's a Puerto Rican dude who basically did tagging in his own neighborhood. Now, he's trying to make it seem like Julio 204 was the first person to use his nickname or his name and numbers behind the name. Hold on.
We begin with Julio 204. He's the first to combine his name with a street number.
No, he's not. And I'm about to prove that he wasn't.
Then we have Taki 183.
Okay, so now we're getting to Taki and all that. That came later. Okay, let's deal with this Julio 204. All right? Let's deal with the Julio 204. He said Julio 204 was the first person to use the name and the numbers behind. Not true. The first person was a brother, foundational Black American, who they conveniently try to leave out, a brother named Top Cat 126. Top Cat 126 started in 1967 in New York. In fact, Top Cat 126, he pioneered a style called the Broadway writing style, okay? Top Cat 126. This dude was doing his thing in 1967. Y'all Google Top Cat 126. He was before Julio. And here's the kicker. Top Cat 126, he was doing his thing in New York, but he wasn't from New York. Top Cat 126 was not from New York. Guess where he was from? Philadelphia. Top Cat came from Philadelphia to New York. That was the correlation. That's how the graffiti got from Philly to New York. It was Top Cat. Let's look at some reputable sources here. Let's look at some reputable sources. Let's look at, here's an old article from New York Magazine. Let's break it down. Let's show some receipts. This is an article from New York Magazine, 2006. They talk about some of the early graffiti guys. Let me see what the name of the article is. Hold on. It's called Graffiti in Its Own Words. So let's look at some reputable sources here. All right. Going down. Top Cat came from Philadelphia in the late 60s, maybe 68, and he started tagging the streets, and he hooked up with Julio 204 and Taki 183, and they grabbed the torch. Come on now. Come on now. This is another article from 1982. Top Cat, who brought the Broadway style from Philadelphia. So they know who Top Cat is. These are receipts. This is from the New York Times. Yeah, this ain't from a Wikipedia page. This is from the New York. They've always known who Top Cat was. They knew Top Cat brought that graffiti from Philly. Come on, it did come from Philly. These are not coincidences. Come on now, what makes more sense? These receipts or Dr. Cologne's babbling? Because he's trying to do some I'm white and I say so. I'm proving to you that this was a 100% foundational Black American creation. This is why we got that documentary coming out, family. So we can put all of these things, put 2 and 2 together, man, so that people can't come out here and lie by omission. They think they're slick. This is why it's up to us to get this shit together, man, to get all of the truth out here. I don't think Top Cat is alive anymore. I don't know, but he was, you know, again, a lot of folks don't know the real names of these guys because they were anonymous. Yeah? And people like Taki, and Taki was a Greek guy. He was a Greek white guy. He got notoriety because there was a big write-up on him in, I think, in the New Yorker, one of those newspapers in 1971. So he got a lot of notoriety early on. And then I think there was a movie about him. I remember a movie called Turk 187, something like that, in the 80s about Taki being a graffiti artist. So, you know, they were latching onto the culture early on and then trying to bury a lot of the real pioneers, the foundational Black American pioneers. Yes, he got the torch. Now, see, if we weren't here to get all of this straightening together, they'll sit here and make it seem like, yeah, Julio, yeah, he the one who started it in New York. No. This is why we got to be on top of our history game. Yeah? We got to be on top of our game, family. Yeah, Turk 182, that was the name of the movie, right? Yeah, Turk 182. And that movie came out, what, the early 80s, right? Got a lot of folks in here. But anyway, family. Anyway, let me get up out of here. We've been chopping up some real game, man. Don't forget, man, family, go to, if you're in LA, go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. We have a comedy event happening next Wednesday. Come on down. We're going to have a great time. Come on down. It's only $20 to get in. We got my man Dwan B. We got a bunch of great comedians lined up. Also, guys, if you are in LA and if you contributed to the museum, show me proof of your contribution, and we're going to let you get in on my guest list for this Wednesday. You can get in on my guest list. Join me. It's on me. Come on through. You dig? We're going to make it do what it do. And also go to American-Maroon.com to get the movie American Maroon. Ladies and gentlemen, and also, man, right here, the FBA Expo coming to Dallas. That's next month. Get your tickets, FBAExpo.com, ladies and gentlemen. FBAExpo.com. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. I will check in with you guys later on this week. We got some other surprises. I got a new YouTube channel that's coming up later on this week. I got to let you guys know about. I keep you guys posted on that. But anyway, man.